Advertisements are a tax on the poor. Check out this clip.
Advertising is a tax that the poor and the digitally illiterate have to pay. How do you know your life isn't going very well? You're watching a lot of advertising. There's a regulator in Paris that makes sure you can't see any advertising from a green space because it's a modern, wealthy society. Go to a poor country and ads are everywhere. The most successful people are only watching media that doesn't have one thing: advertising.
What do you think? Are ads another way to tax the non-wealthy?
Absolutely. To tax, I mean, at the end of the day, listen, people have found out that attention is very, very valuable. Certainly, the more digitally literate you are, like I use ad blockers on all of my devices and browsers, so I see no advertising, right? But, I've worked in tech my entire career. So yeah, Scott is on point. And as he is with many, many things, it's definitely a tax. It's definitely something that you see disproportionately. But it is also getting to this whole monetization of attention. And because the delivery mechanism for most ads is addictive, i.e., doom scrolling, dopamine triggering, it becomes increasingly more pervasive. So, I would say that, yes, it is a tax on the poor, but certainly not the poor only. Because the addictive nature of the delivery mechanism of at least online advertising is affecting everyone. But I also agree with his point that, in many of the most luxurious locations in the world, you're not going to see a bunch of billboards and all sorts of other things around in terms of kind of what he was talking about, public space advertising. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I would also say, though, that sometimes governments step in, and this is like me putting my cape on for governments here. We go to Sao Paulo, and the third largest country in the world, and they removed something like 7,000 billboards. They said, hey, our citizens have decided that we don't want these ugly billboards and giant pylons with all of these advertising messages on them. Or you go to a small community like mine in Ojai, there are no billboards in town. There are no corporate chains in town other than the banks, which is an interesting discussion there, right? Even the banks can get past that city ordinance. But if you want to go to a corporate chain, you have to go just outside of town. And they're all there, the McDonald's and the Taco Bell and the Starbucks. As soon as you cross the city line, they're over there, right? But the people of this community have decided, and it's not a rich community. I live in a really blue collar neighborhood, but it is wealthy enough to be able to opt out of that. Most of the people in my neighborhood are blue collar workers. They're delivery people. I have a yoga teacher in my neighborhood, a mechanic next door. I have a pastor down the street. A physical therapist lives on my block. I mean, there are relatively blue collar jobs there, but we have decided to sort of opt out. Your point, though, is it's becoming harder and harder and harder to opt out now. You could argue someone like Scott Galloway, who is a decamillionaire, centimillionaire, he has a lot of money. He can pay several people. If he, instead of going through his TikTok feed, he could pay people to go through the feed for him and just create his own algorithm of videos for him without a single advertisement. So at some point, wealth can get you out of advertisements. But TK,
unless you live in West Hollywood. Some of the wealthiest zip codes in the nation are in West Hollywood, and there's more billboards per capita on Sunset than there are almost in Times Square. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Well, you're absolutely right, but then you go down to like Bel Air, and you're not going to see a single billboard in Bel Air in a gated community, right? And so you're able to opt out. On some level, it has to do with our choices. If you are on YouTube and you spend $13 a month for the premium version of YouTube, you can opt out of the YouTube advertisements. And that's like the best $13 I spend every month because I watch YouTube on a regular basis. And so I don't want to see those ads. I don't want to get disrupted by them, but also I can afford the $13.
An interesting thing happened. I'm actually an investor in a friend of mine's company called Telly. And he had built Pluto TV before Telly. And Telly is essentially a 50, 60 inch flat screen television that's completely free. The television comes with a second screen, which includes ads on it. And as he launched the company, I think everyone was surprised at the demographics of who signed up for it. And, you would think it would just be people who could not or would struggle to afford to buy a new television, but it was not. There are, the counterpoint to this is that there are a lot of people who have the means to avoid advertising, who actually like advertising, which is a really, really interesting, and it was borne out in the data. They have a wait list of hundreds of thousands of people long, and when a person signs up, they collect a bunch of information about who these people are, their zip code, where they live. This is, it's certainly not a product that only people who can't afford a television are signing up for.
I'm all for ads if you're able to opt into them.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of a problem with consent. I didn't consent to most of the ads that I get. And we often talk about consent in other contexts where it is way more pernicious. But even here, the average person, according to Forbes, sees 5,000 advertisements every day. And I think that'd be great if it was enriching our lives and it made us feel better and increase our sense of self-esteem. But it's often doing the opposite. TK, I'm interested in your thoughts on this. In your view, are advertisements ever a tax on the poor?
That's tough for me because you're talking to the guy who never says advertisements suck. Yes, sometimes the experience of watching them sucks, but generally speaking, I'm okay with them.
So you like ads?
Yeah.
He mainly says it because his mom listens to the podcast and he knows he'll get in trouble if he says sucks.
It's funny too because advertisements have made an interesting turn in the past 20 years where they have become a badge of honor for content creators. What getting on the Oprah show was for one generation, getting the ad is for a new generation. It's a sign that you have arrived, that you've made it, that you're legit. Whoa, you got ads running on your content. You've made it. You're successful. You're a real creator. It also has become, in many ways, a sign of being for the people. Like we get criticized and called privilege all the time for not running ads and for and for charging for Patreon.
Yeah.
Like that is not a virtue in the online space. We get called privileged for that all the time. And people who run ads on their content are always leading with that virtue signal, and it works very effectively, which is, hey guys, we wanted to give you the content for free. We don't want to have to charge you. That's why we run ads on the content. And people love that. People embrace that. So I'm not sure if people are looking at ads as something that's keeping them from the experience they want, it seems to me that a lot of people are embracing it as something that makes free content possible. Now, I think free is tricky because I think the consumer is actually being transformed into a product. But in terms at the level of perception, a lot of people seem to be loving this.
Yeah, I think there are two things here. One is there's the person who is being disrupted and is ignorant to the fact that it is disruptive, right? Just because it's so commonplace. It's the two fish in water, and one of them says, "Hey boys, how's the water?" And the other one says, "What is water?" Right? And David Foster Wallace, "What is water?" thing. But I think we're so steeped in advertisements. What is an ad? And this happened on our last Friday afternoon Minimalist Zoom. We do this call with our patrons, a Zoom call once a month. And someone was mentioning an ad, and I just responded in the little chat, said, "What's an ad?" And they're like, "Oh, it's something all other podcasts have," right? And when you're so steeped in it, you don't necessarily understand that it's so disruptive to the experience. And that's why all of a sudden when you go to a city like Paris that Scott's talking about, it's like, there's something different here. And I've been to Sao Paulo before, and it's the same thing where it's like, I don't know what's off, but something's off. You go to Ojai, California, and it's like, what? I don't know what it is. Oh, there aren't all of the ads breaking up my relationship with the sky. And however, there are the people who seek out ads. I mean, I think the Super Bowl is the greatest example of this, right? It's the one time a year that I know everyone is tuning into something for the thing and for the ads. Generally, you're not going to look for the ads in something. At best, you're willing to tolerate them, or maybe you get some value from one of them that pointed you in the right direction. But besides the Super Bowl, people usually aren't seeking out advertisements as a part of their entertainment or information experience.
We can say the same thing about subscription fees too, though, right? I'm not going to Netflix looking to pay. I just accept the fact that I have to pay if I want to enjoy this. But I'm not like, oh, yay, they raised the prices up $5 this year. That's exciting, man. I'm looking forward to paying. No, I'm a good sport about it. But I just look at it as this is the price I have to pay. If they gave me an opt-out and was like, hey, TK, we want to give you Netflix for free this year. There's no universe in which I'm saying, oh, no, how are you guys going to survive unless you're getting the money? I'm going to say, thank you, guys. I'll take it for free. But it's the price I got to pay. And I think a lot of people just see ads that way as well. Yeah, I don't enjoy it, but I accept it. It's a part of life. It's the price I have to pay. And I'd rather do this than try to come up with the money to, pay to opt out.
And it's also interesting that the corporations, again, just goes back to no one ever sees themselves as a bad guy. Right. And so all those corporations that you were talking about in, fast food advertising or whatever, right? They think they view themselves as just doing what they're supposed to do, marketing their business, marketing their products, so forth and so on. I saw an old clip. It's fascinating. A company that makes or made DDT. And they had an old ad. And DDT was one of the most, if you don't know, was one of the most poisonous chemicals ever. Right?
Yes, cause all kinds of diseases.
I mean, oh my
polio,
God.
all kinds of stuff.
It was a horrible, horrible stuff. But in the beginning, they didn't know that. And so the CEO of whatever company that made DDT wanted to show everyone how safe DDT was.
Mm-hmm.
And so he took the DDT sprayers to his kids' elementary school and sprayed his own kids and their classmates eating lunch. Right? Like, look at how healthy DDT is. And these kids are like eating sandwiches. These were his own kids, right? It's just, we only know what we know. We're not thinking through the long-term ill effects of these things. The corporate CEO is trying to, kind of do and accomplish whatever it is they're trying to do. And certainly there wasn't an othering. He did it at his own kid's school, which is just like a, mind-blowing.
Yeah, sometimes we don't realize what the knock-on effects of what we're doing. One of my favorite films, Tree of Life, Terrence Malick, there's a scene there where the DDT truck is going around town and all the kids are playing in the fog because how cool is it that there's all this fog
machine.
It's like they were playing in a fog machine. And I think that's what's often happening with advertisements. I had to set up some rules in my own life because now advertisements are so compelling. You go to Instagram, they know I want a new black t-shirt for whatever reason. Don't know why. Or a pair of black pants.
No clue why they would think that.
Or black shoes. Yeah. And as soon as I get on there, the ad is so good, I'm like, oh yeah.
The t-shirt's so black.
Every time I buy it and it shows up, it never delivers to the degree that I felt in the moment when I saw the ad. Never once has a product that I've purchased from Instagram or another social media platform ever been better than what they promised me in the advertisement. I hope you enjoyed that highlight from the Minimalist Private Podcast. If you'd like another highlight, check out this video. If you'd like to watch the minimal episode, check out this video. Or if you'd like to dive deep into full episodes of the Minimalist Private Podcast, head on over to Patreon. The link is in the description. Your support keeps our podcast and YouTube channel 100% advertisement free.